When Congress returns to Washington, D.C. at the conclusion of its summer recess, we propose that the senators and the representatives enact a law which recognizes national reciprocity regarding the carrying of concealed firearms by people with state-issued concealed carry firearms permits, and that this be recognized throughout the United States. Today, and for many years, people who have car driver's licenses can drive their car anywhere in the United States. In the same way, we think that people who have state-issued permits to carry concealed firearms should be able to carry these concealed firearms throughout the United States. We believe this would be of great benefit to the public. The fact of the matter is that law-abiding firearms in the United States interrupt crimes or prevent the occurrence of crimes well over 1 million times each year in the United States. About 100 million Americans own about 200 million firearms. We think that these Americans should be able to serve as a backup, if necessary, for the law enforcement officers throughout the United States in their fight against crime. We believe also that the enactment of such a law would be in keeping with the modern way of living. People these days frequently travel every day from one state to the other. Many people, in the course of their daily work, in the course of their weekly work, travel throughout various sections of the United States. Some even travel from one side of the United States to the other in the course of a week, or even in the course of part of a week, or even in one day. This law then would be something which would be helpful to the public and which would serve the interests of the people who have already gotten state-issued concealed carry permits and who travel throughout various states or even throughout the United States. Now, this idea is very popular. According to a recent Zogby poll, well over 80% of the people, 83% of the people, in fact, favor concealed carry of firearms in the United States. Now, a number of people, including the president, probably oppose this idea. The fact of the matter is, though, that the president's polls are heading into the cellar. According to recent Rasmussen reports of the opinions of voters in the United States, Obama now has an approval rating of -11. The voters in the United States indicate they'd like to see the entire Congress replaced. About 57% believe that Congress should be replaced. So what do you have? On the one hand, Obama, whose record as an anti-gun president has already been established. He has appointed as Attorney General a man who wants to reinstitute the failed Clinton-era ban on semi-automatic firearms. Obama, as his first choice for the Supreme Court, has appointed a woman who says she does not even know if individuals have a right to defend themselves. In addition, Obama has asked the Senate to ratify SIFTA, a proposed international arms treaty which, if ratified, if adopted, would enable an inter-American arms authority to undermine American sovereignty and to undermine the traditional individual civil right of law-abiding American citizens under the Second Amendment to keep and bear arms. Members of Congress will be facing the public, that is the voters, in about 14 months. That's when the midterm elections occur. So members of Congress face a choice between the extreme leftist government control ideas of the liberals in the media and the wretched White House wonks of government control in the government, on the one hand, or on the other hand, the will of the people. Congress supposedly represents the people. After all, the people elected the members of Congress to their positions. Now, Congress has had a good dose of public reaction to what's coming out of Washington during the month of August. They know, or they ought to know, that the people are madder than hornets at what the government has been doing. So Congress now has an opportunity to begin to rectify what it has been doing and what the government has been doing to the people whom they supposedly serve. One of the ways that Congress could begin to effectuate this transformation from its adherence to political correctness on the one hand to support for the people is by passing this proposal, by passing a law which would recognize on a national basis the carrying of concealed firearms throughout the United States by people who have state-issued permits to carry concealed firearms. We truly hope that Congress will redeem itself, that it will once again begin listening to the American people, and that it will act positively and swiftly to recognize national reciprocity for the carrying of concealed firearms throughout the United States by people who have state-issued permits to carry concealed firearms.